Hi guys, it's Nancy here and welcome to another process video. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who watched my last video and sent me a comment. I am working through replying to you all. I felt very loved and very much wanted back on YouTube, so I want to thank you very much who took the time to reach out to me. So again, I'm doing another 12x12 layout for my American album. The start of it, I'm kind of going in one direction and then I decide to go in another. So I've got these four photos of various places on a road trip. When we're road tripping around, and they're kind of actually two different road trips, but I thought I'd just include them because I took loads of pictures, so I thought I might as well try and use them. Again, I'm using bits from my stash. I think this is a piece of Jen Hadfield, and then I've got this piece which I think is a Echo Park piece. So I'm just using some random bits from my stash, and that's a real big thing. I know quite a few people have made it kind of a resolution this year, is to try and use bits out of their stash, so that's something I'm planning on doing. I had cut this big piece that said road trip, and to be honest, when I cut it I didn't realise kind of how big I cut it, but I kind of decided to go with it and just kind of make it almost like an introductory page or just a break in my album with this big piece of road trip. So I decided I want to use my four photos like that, and so I'm going to put my title in the middle. Again, I want to apologise for the wonky wobbling desk, so it's a bit annoying. I said I can't really, do anything about it at the moment. I have got another little put up desk which I'm going to try and use for some other videos, which is actually a little bit bigger. So hopefully that'll make things a little bit more stable, but this, as I said, is working for me, actually getting some scrapping done, even if it's just scrapping for myself and not for videos. So what I've done is I've just made sure that the different sky colours are kind of opposite on the layout, because when I put the two with the sort of darker blue sky together, it looked like I'd try to take a panoramic kind of picture, so I decided to split those up. And I'm just using a bit of my scraps there to try and line them up. Anyone who who's watched my videos now, I'm not too fussed about it, to be honest. I think I've got my iPad in front of me, which is what I'm tapping away on, so I apologise that you can just see my arms tapping away doing random things. So yes. So I'm going to put that road trip in the middle, and to be honest, I could have left it just like that. I quite liked it. But now I decided I'm going to try and fill that middle gap, so I'm looking at what pieces of paper. I pulled a bit of that Vicky Bouton, but it's 9 by whatever, so I decided I need to dig in my stash and actually find some 12x12 pieces to work across the middle there. And I'm going through these various bags where I've made kits up in the past and just looking what I've got in here. So this is some older Amy Tan pieces from Oh Happy Life, and there was another one in there as well. So I pulled this bit out. I've used a few of these squares, but decided to maybe use this back piece. And again, I wanted to make sure there was some blue in there somewhere, and there's some orange as well, so it picks up a little bit. Like I said, this is not my kind of normal style layout, but sometimes you just feel like doing something a little bit different. So that's what I felt like doing here. As I said in my previous video, I have kind of gone through and kind of planned my album. I've kind of got it to 4 albums, and I think that's going to work. I'm definitely not going to go over 4 albums, and what I have done is kind of planned what's going to go in each of those albums. So I'm just pulling out some different bits here. So there's a camera for die cut. You've actually see that I pulled out a punch there, and that's a bracket punch. I'm actually going to be using a few punches in videos because I found I had quite a lot of punches. Then I went to a charity shop, thrift store, and they had a massive Creative Memories sort of tote full of punches, which were like Stamping Up, Creative Memories, Fist Scars, Martha Stewart, and they were £20, so it was such a bargain. And I don't mind giving money to the charity shop, so I thought, yeah, I actually used to quite like using punches in my layering, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that again. So I'm using this bracket punch here. I know the note paper punch is quite popular as well, but I thought, yeah, I'm going to go a little bit retro here and use actually some punches. I want to apologise for my lighting as well. It's not ideal. I have got a daylight bulb in my room, which I do use, but as you can see, that is reflecting in the photos, but I don't have room for my big diffuser light that I used to have up, so I'm just going to have to just bear with it, really. So I'm just cutting these strips down, and again it's just going to create sort of a subtle layer that's going to go across that middle piece. And again, you know when you start a layout and it kind of didn't go, because I was going to use that orange paper and I was going to have the photos different, but you know, it's fine, it all works out in the end. So I'm going to stick that under the photos. I do have a bit of a challenge here. I'd cut my finger earlier in the day quite badly on a can of beans, so actually trying to do anything was a bit awkward that day. So I'm thinking I want to do a cluster. So I want to do a cluster in the top there, because you've got the rear view mirror kind of showing in there, which didn't really add anything. And while I was looking at things, I found this bag of wood veneers, and it's got loads of wood veneers, and to be honest, a lot of these are Scraptastic wood veneers, which I used to get Scraptastic kit, and of course they've just kind of been put in here, and I've got loads. So again, that's something else I've pulled out to make sure that I use more. So I thought, yeah, I pulled out 2 of these wooden cameras, which I think Achco ones. I kind of like that one that said capture, but I want it to say captured, Roadtrip captured, but of course that didn't work. And I found this one, which summer is here, and I actually didn't realise there's 2 of those joined together. So I have still got that out to try and use somewhere, but that was when Studio Calico were doing that very thin wood veneer. So again, I'm just pulling out other wood veneers here, seeing if I can make them work, because I do realise how many I had. To be fair, the ones I've used most recently is like the Potty People. So again, here is another punch. This is my pink circle punch, which is a kind of punch around the page one. And you can see when I punch, that table really can't take it. And again, that's just going to help me just build a little cluster in each place. So as you can see, I'm just working out where these are all going to go, and again, just going with it. I mean, it's not perfect, and at one point I was thinking of doing some mixed media on the road trip piece or colouring it, but I thought, no, let's just leave it white. So yeah, I'm just fussing around, sticking these bits down. And actually, as I said, I do keep the embellishments quite simple on this page, because really it's more of a page just to do some creative stuff rather than any great scrapping, masterpiece. And sometimes that's just what you need, because I wanted to put these photos in my album, but there wasn't any particular real story to them. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep fussing about, really cutting things out, and I take these orange bits which I've used to mount my layout in, to mount behind the lenses of the camera. So it kind of looks a little bit like a camera flash burst. So I've just put that behind the 2 apertures in the die cut, and I'm then just going to fussy cut and trim those around. And again, everything was a little bit slower on this layout because of my finger, so it's quite funny really watching it. I don't know, I have real problems like trying to pick stuff up for about a week having that on, but it is about healed now. It's surprising, how deep you can cut yourself on the tin can. So I'm not actually going to add that much more to this, I believe. I'm trying to think. I don't think I actually add much more. So again, some of these bits are Amy Tan, quite older pieces. So this is a little bit which is arrows, and like I said, these are just scraps that I had, and I'm trying to use that. So I've got quite a few videos coming up using particular kits, like page kits I put together, or a page kit that I was sent by some pack of papers I was sent by Emma. I'm making some layouts from. Then I've got some paid class kits from Go Go Getaways where I didn't do the class, or the class wasn't necessarily my style, so I've got those as well. So I've got quite a lot of that, as well as my massive stash anyway. And I do have some newer products coming up, so I've got some layouts coming out for Hey Look Magpie for some newer stuff, so yeah, there's kind of going to be a bit of mixture coming up, but I am really trying to use up my stash because space is a premium. I have too much stuff, so I just want to get it used, really. So that's kind of my clusters pretty simply done. Again, it's just adds a little bit of movement with those arrows on there. One thing I did notice that the Roadtrip didn't have a dot to the eye, and I looked back on the cut file to check, and it didn't, so that's a bit odd, but it doesn't worry me too much. So I'm just going to be sticking this big Roadtrip down. I'm just using my wet glue, which is my same wet glue that I always use, which is the Cosmic Shimmers, which I love. So again, I'm just looking here, so I'm going to pull out another one of those USA outlines, which I've kind of cut quite a few, but want to kind of, you know, I'm using the US map outline, cameras and globes as kind of quite a lot throughout this album, so I thought that's actually just going to fit in that space under that Roadtrip really well. Of course I want to look at covering that O, so I'm going to pick up the pink from that pink circle just to fill in the middle, and then that's kind of really it for this page. I'm just going to pop that up on some 3D foam, just so it sticks proud a little bit. But yeah, so it's a pretty simple layout really, but again, I was kind of getting back in that scrapping mood and kind of, you know, the situation with a camera and stuff up. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Like I said, I will be back with more videos. I've got a face-to-face planned, lots of stuff to talk to you about and plans for my channel. I hope the sound is better. I have got a new microphone because I couldn't find another one for love and money, so I bought a newer one. So yeah, hopefully that is going to make the sound a bit better. Here you can see me rummaging through one of my mini pots of you know, ephemera. That's actually all Ali Edwards stuff. So these are actually some Chamel hearts from the Go Now Go collection. Love those. I think I've got a couple of those. And I've also got some enamel dots, which I've got so many of, so I'm trying to use those up. So yeah, as I was saying, I will be up on my channel again later in the week. So thank you very much to everyone who commented on my last video, and you know, anyone who's watching this, because as I said, I really appreciate it, because I know my channel has been a little bit abandoned lately, so I appreciate the amount of people that said I've been missed and all the really sweet comments. So like I said, I will reply to everyone in time. So yeah, I want to thank you everyone for watching this video. As I said, it's a little bit different from me, but there's going to be some of my normal style coming up soon as well. So I'm just going to peel the sticky off that 3D foam and stick that on. So thanks very much guys, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Bye!